Hi, I'm Jillian Miner, lifestyle coach and certified group fitness instructor for the Center for Healthy Living. Just like creating a well-balanced plate with protein, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, we want to think about creating a movement routine that's well-balanced by including cardio, strength, and flexibility. There are many benefits to strength training. These include building muscle and getting stronger, reducing the risk of falls, increasing muscle mass and bone density, improving balance, coordination, and mobility, maintaining independence in performing activities of daily life, boosting metabolism, improving mood and boosting self-confidence, and improving sleep. Here are some important safety tips to remember. If you have health concerns, talk to your doctor before you start any activity program. Warm up before being active and be sure to cool down afterwards. Perform activities in a slow, controlled motion. Breathe regularly throughout each activity, and make sure you're wearing athletic shoes with good support, such as walking, running, or cross-training sneakers. Let's get started. Before we begin, let's warm up and connect with our bodies. Taking a moment here, we'll bring our hands to our belly, maybe close the eyes if you feel comfortable. You can do this from a seated position or standing, whatever feels best in your body today. Relax your shoulders and just start to connect with your breath. As you inhale, feel your belly expand. And as you exhale, feel your belly contract back towards your spine. Take a few breaths like this. Feel your shoulders relax down away from your ears. And really start to use that oxygen to energize your body. Nice deep breaths. One more here. And then release the hands from the belly and let's roll out our shoulders. Nice and slow. Bringing the shoulders up by the ears and then back and down. Continuing to breathe, always important. Two more here. Last one. And then release, and then let's just start to bring a little movement to the arms, just gently swinging the arms. If you're seated in a chair, watch out for the sides of your chair. Make sure you've got some space around you. You can keep it here, forward and back. Or maybe you want to start to add a little crisscross, opening up across the chest. Whatever feels good. If anything doesn't feel good, don't do it. Skip it. Pay attention to how things feel in your body today. For 3, 2, 1, and then let those arms relax down by the sides. You can keep your feet where they are, or maybe widen a little bit here. You can also do this from a chair. And we're just going to gently reach side to side, keeping the neck right in line with the spine. Breathing. This one always makes me think about when you drop something in the car, right in between that center console, and you're trying to reach down and grab it. Nice and gentle, just warming up the sides of the body. For 3, 2, 1, and release. From here, we'll bring the feet back in again. If you feel a little more steady in the chair, feel free to take a seat. We're just gonna start to lift one knee up and then the other. So starting to find that balance. Take this at your own pace. If it feels better to use a countertop or something nearby for support, a wall, back of a chair, or even take a seat in the chair. Just starting to warm up our hips. Breathing, nice tall spine. For 3, 2, last one. From here, we're gonna warm up the ankles a little bit. So just coming onto our feet, feet about hip distance apart. Again, maybe you're in a chair with feet about hip distance apart. We're just gonna roll from side to side, warming up through the feet and the ankles. Again, you can use a countertop, the back of a chair for support. For 3, 2, 1. You can continue with that motion, or if it feels steady enough, picking one foot up off the floor and just rotate through that ankle. One direction and the other. Starting to challenge that balance a little bit here, and release. We'll go to that other side. So lifting that other foot up. And don't hesitate to use something for balance if you feel a little wobbly. And other direction. And release from here. Let's just take it to a little march, just getting that blood flowing, ready to work, ready to move in lots of different directions. Relax the shoulders. Take this at your own pace. The more you pump those arms, the faster the feet are gonna move. So if it feels like a little too much, just slow those arms a little. Few more here. 3, 2, and let's take those heels out in front, just tapping one heel and then the other. Starting to warm up the backs of those legs. Hands can stay at the hips, or maybe you want to add a little push to the front, starting to warm up the chest and the upper back. Standing tall. Don't forget to breathe. Relax the shoulders. Few more here. We're just getting that body nice and warm before we begin our strength training. You can also use this warm-up before heading out for a walk, or even just as a quick little 2-minute movement break. Last few here. 3, 2, last movement. Let's just step it side to side. Again, hands can stay at the hips. Maybe you want to add a little bicep curl, or maybe you want to dance it out a little swing of those arms. Maybe you want to keep it nice and narrow, or maybe you're starting to feel warm and you want to step it a little wider. Again, listen to your body. Almost there. 3, 2, and little rest. Grab a quick sip of water if you need it, and let's get going. This movement is called a sit to stand, and it's exactly like it sounds. We're gonna go from a seated position to standing. It's something practical that we do throughout the day, and a great way to build strength in our thighs and our glutes. So it might sound a little counterintuitive, but we're gonna think about pressing down through our feet to power us up in this movement. Being mindful of our knees, we'll bring our feet about hip distance apart. You can adjust as we go. And maybe you want to start off using the arms of the chair if it feels a little challenging to get up. You can also bring your hands in front of your chest, or even add a weight for a little added resistance. So choose what feels right to you today. Again, we're gonna shift our weight forward here into our feet. And again, think about pressing down to come up, and then nice and slow and controlled back down to the chair. Maybe even peeking behind to make sure that chair is there to support you. Pressing down to come up, slow and controlled back down. Again, using those arms if you need them. Don't forget to breathe here. Maybe exhaling to come up, inhale to lower. Always want to exhale on that more challenging piece of the movement. Gives us that little extra oomph that we were looking for. Take your time here. You can take a break as you sit down for as long as you need. Jump back in and join us when you're ready. Few more here. Nice and controlled. Making sure those knees aren't coming out past the toes, really sitting back into those heels, into those glutes. One more here, nice and slow and controlled. You've got this. And back down. Great job. Seated leg extensions. So we'll start off seated in a chair. You can adjust how far forward you are on the chair. The further forward you come, the less support you'll have under the thighs, and the more challenging this exercise may be. So if this is new to you, start back a little further in the chair so you have the chair for support. Hands can come to the lap or to the arms of the chair. Sitting up tall, nice, relaxed posture here. And we're just going to extend one foot out in front, feeling that thigh engage, and lower back down. So extend it forward and lower. Only bringing that foot as high as it feels comfortable for you today. Breathe through it. You can also bring the hand to that thigh to feel that muscle engaging. Take your time here. Let's do 2 more. Last one here. And release, and we'll go to that other side. So again, take a moment, realign that posture. Don't forget to breathe. We'll extend 1 foot forward and lower back down. Maybe if you want a little bit of a challenge, maybe you want to bring that foot out and hold for a count or 2. I can feel my thighs shaking a little bit here. Definitely can feel those muscles working, keeping that upper body nice and relaxed. Only bringing that foot as far forward as it feels comfortable. So maybe it's only here. Really listen to what feels right for you today. 2 more on this side. Last one, nice and slow and controlled. And release. Side leg abductions. For this exercise, you may want to use a chair for support, or even a kitchen counter or the wall, whatever's going to help to give you a little bit of stability. Standing beside the chair, slight bend in that standing leg. We'll take the outside leg and just flex that foot slightly. Notice here, if you're starting to lean or place a lot of weight onto that chair, so if you can keep that posture nice and tall, flexing that foot, keeping that toe pointed straight ahead, we'll bring that leg out to the side and back in. Being aware of your range of motion, so only going as far as it feels comfortable, you'll start to feel the outside of that thigh working here. Keeping that slight bend in that standing leg, nice tall posture. You can think about engaging that core for stability. Again, take your time, controlling that movement on the way out and the way back in. A few more here. Let's do 3 more on this side. 2 more. Last one. And release. Shake that out and we'll go to the other side. So before you begin, take a moment, realign that posture, find something nice and stable beside you for support, slight bend in that standing leg, we'll flex that outside foot and we'll come out to the side and back in, out and in. So as you come out to the side, think about keeping that toe pointed straight ahead. So if you start to notice that hip and toe turning out, just realign here, maybe noticing that maybe this is as far as it feels comfortable to go, keeping that nice tall posture, continuing to control the movement, breathe, lots to think about. Take your time. That standing leg is working too if you haven't noticed. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. Last one, nice and strong. And release, shake that out. Calf raises. For this exercise, we're gonna strengthen those muscles on the back of our lower leg. This is great if you like to go out and walk. It gives us that little boost of power as we're going up and down hills. So for this exercise, we'll sit up tall in a chair. You could also do this from a standing position, maybe using the back of the chair for support. Hands can come to the thighs or the side of the chair, whatever feels most comfortable. We're gonna root down through the feet, find that nice tall posture, and we're gonna come up onto our toes, lifting the heels off the floor and lower back down. Come on up and lower. So if you need a little extra resistance, if you wanna make this a little bit more challenging, you can place a little gentle pressure on your thighs, or you could even grab a light set of hand weights, placing those on your thighs, just to add a little bit more of a challenge to this exercise. Start off nice and slow, take your time. This is great to strengthen the muscles of the feet as well. Few more here. Keep breathing. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. This is all about those calves. Let's do 2 more together. Last one. And release. Let's work those biceps, the front of the arms. You can grab a light set of hand weights, you could grab some cans of food, bottles of water, or just use your body weight to begin. Arms come down by the sides, palms facing forward, sitting up nice and tall. You could also be standing if that feels more comfortable in your body. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears, and then from here, nice and slow and controlled, we'll curl the weights up towards the shoulders and release back down. Controlling those weights on the way up and the way down here. Take your time. Relax the neck, relax the jaw. Breathe. Maybe you want to exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Another way you could modify this exercise is to curl one arm at a time, really concentrating on one arm and then the other. Or you can double this up. Really listen to what your body needs today. Notice if you have a really tight grip on whatever you're using. Without dropping it, see if you can soften that grip just a little bit here. Let's do one more together. Curling up and nice and slow and controlled back down. Rock out those wrists, release that tension. Great job. Let's focus on some nice, strong, confident posture with some bent over rows to work the upper back. You can grab a set of weights, or again, cans or bottles of water, whatever you have handy, and sit down in a chair. From here, we really want to think about lengthening from our tailbone all the way out through the crown of our head, and we'll hinge slightly forward, keeping our neck right in line with our spine, almost like you're peeking out over the edge of a cliff. Engage the core to support the low back and bring the arms down by your sides. Keeping the elbows close to the body, we'll row the weights back in between the belly button and the chest, and then nice and slowly lower back down. Again, keeping that neck right in line with the spine, squeezing those shoulder blades at the top of this movement, and lower. You can incorporate the breath here by exhaling on the way up, inhaling down, keeping that neck long. Sometimes I find as I do these, my chin slowly starts to drop towards the chest. See if you can keep that neck right in line with the spine, gazing out in front of you. Few more here. You could also focus on one arm at a time here. Breathe. One more. And release it down. Press through those feet to come on back up and release. Overhead presses. For this exercise, grab some light hand weights, cans of food, bottles of water, and we'll start off with weights by the shoulders, palms facing forward. Notice if that rib cage is flaring out or the spine is rounded. Find that nice tall posture, slight engagement of the core to support the low back, and then we'll press up overhead and lower back down, nice and slow and controlled. Exhale up, inhale down. Remember, you can always focus on one side at a time as you're building strength, or double up, whatever feels right today. This is a great practical movement. Maybe there's things that we need to put away, high on a shelf. Great way to keep all those muscles nice and strong. Two more here. Keeping those shoulders relaxed, down away from the ears. Last one. And release. Shoulder raises. This is a great one for that posture. Grab some light weights, cans of food, bottles of water, sitting up tall in a chair or standing if that feels more comfortable, palms facing back behind you. Then nice and slow and controlled, we're gonna lift those arms up just to shoulder height, and then we'll lower back down. Gently turning those palms in towards the body, we'll lift out to the side, again, just to shoulder height, and lower back down. Continue here, alternating to the front and to the side. Keeping that neck nice and tall, shoulders relaxed, down away from the ears. Don't forget to breathe. If only one of these two directions feels comfortable in your body, then stick with that. You can also alternate one arm at a time. This one's a little bit of a brain exercise too, alternating between front and side. Moving our body in lots of different directions, building lots of muscles. Let's do one more round together. Control it on the way down. And release. Let's work the core. It's such an important part of nice, strong, confident posture. So grabbing one weight on either end, or even clasping your hands up by your shoulder, we'll come to one side, sitting up nice and tall, holding nice and gently onto that weight, or again, maybe clasping the hands. We'll use the core to pull that weight towards that opposite hip. And then we'll come back up to that beginning position by the shoulder, rotating towards the hip. If you start to feel a little dizzy here, you can keep your gaze to the front, really focusing on using those core muscles to add this little rotation. Maybe exhaling on the way down, inhaling up. This one's just like putting on that seat belt. Another way to keep ourselves healthy and safe. Exhale across. 2 more here, and then we'll go to that other side. Last one. And release. Take a moment here, maybe stretch out, add a little wiggle, and we'll start to come to that other side. So sitting up tall, engage the core to support the spine, coming from one shoulder, down across towards that opposite hip. Up towards the shoulder, across towards the hip. Nice and slow and controlled. Being mindful of your range of motion, so if it doesn't feel comfortable to come all the way over, maybe you stop here. Really listen to what your body's telling you. Tune in. Exhale across. Few more. Let's do one more together, nice and strong. And release back to the center. Wall push-ups are a great way to work the chest without getting down onto the floor. So find a nice sturdy wall, turning towards the wall, maybe about 2 or 3 feet away from the wall. You can always adjust your feet. We'll bring the hands right about at shoulder height. So placing the hands in line with the shoulders, slight little bend in the knees, find that length through the spine, nice and strong here. And then we'll bend the elbows, keeping the body nice and long, bringing the chest towards the wall, and then engage through those chest muscles to press away. Nice and slow and controlled, keeping that nice long line from our heels out through the crown of our head. Inhale forward, exhale to press away. Only coming as far forward as it feels comfortable in your body. Few more here, really focusing on that chest. 2 more. Last one. And release. Shake it out. You've made it to my favorite part of any workout, the cool down. Let's bring the heart rate back down nice and slow and steady and give that body a nice stretch. So starting off seated in a chair, we'll bring one heel out away from the body, flexing the foot. Maybe even add a little point and flex here, starting to release any tension in the ankle. And the next time those toes come up, we'll hold there, sitting up tall, flexing those toes back towards the shin. You can stay right here, or if you'd like a slightly deeper stretch, hinge slightly forward from the hips out over that leg. Keeping a slight bend in the knee. Maybe the hands reach down the leg. Don't forget to breathe here. With each of these stretches, as we hold them, we want the intensity to lessen, not become more intense. So if it feels like too much, just back off a little bit. We want this part to feel really good. Nice and slow, we'll let that go, bringing that foot in, we'll bring that opposite heel out, point and flex that foot a few times, releasing that tension in the ankle. Relax your shoulders, we're focusing on that lower body, we'll work our way up nice and slow. Next time those toes come up, we'll hold there, slight bend in that leg, sitting up tall, flexing those toes back towards the shin. Maybe staying right here, or maybe that little hinge forward. Really listen to your body. You might feel a deep stretch up the back of that hamstring. Again, nothing to the point of pain. We want this to feel good. As you inhale, breathe deeply into those places of tension. And as you exhale, see if you can get that tension to soften just a little bit. And we'll slowly work our way back up. From here, let's cross one ankle over that opposite thigh. This might be enough to start to feel that stretch through the outside of that hip and glute. Just gently releasing that knee down, sitting up tall. You can stay right here. Or if you'd like a slightly deeper stretch, try flexing that foot. Or another option is to add that hinge forward like our last stretch. So again, nothing to the point of pain. Just releasing any tension in the hip and glute. Soften the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. And then we'll slowly release, maybe a few ankle circles. And then using those hands for support, we'll bring that leg down and head to the other side. So opposite ankle on top of the thigh. Ooh, maybe noticing if one side feels a little bit more tense than the other, or maybe a little more flexible. We all have those little imbalances in our body. So maybe on one side it feels better just to stay right here. Or maybe you want to add that flex of the foot or that hinge forward. Definitely noticing this side feels a little tight for me, so I'm gonna take it easy. Breathe here. Best part of the workout. Bringing everything back down. Never want to skip a cool down. And we'll slowly release, bringing that foot down. Take a moment here, sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale those arms up. Exhale, just a little hinge to one side here. So you can use that chair for support. Keeping that ear close to the bicep here. So not letting that head drop down towards the floor. Feeling a nice stretch from that hip all the way out through those fingertips. Maybe gazing down at the floor, maybe straight ahead, maybe up at the sky, just being mindful of your neck. And we'll release. Inhale up again. Exhale to that other side. Again, maybe gazing at the floor, straight ahead, up towards the sky. Just be mindful of your neck, creating some space through the side of the body. And we'll slowly release back to center. Arms come down by the sides. Let's roll out the shoulders. Really release that tension. Did a lot for our posture, for the upper back. Now we want to stretch it out. Last one here. And then let's take one arm out to the side, thumb towards the sky. Stretch it out here, sitting up nice and tall, feeling a nice stretch through the bicep and into the chest. You can stay right here, or if you'd like a slightly deeper stretch, maybe turn that head in the opposite direction. So that arm is reaching away. Breathe. Again, nothing to the point of pain. And we'll bring that head back to center. If you're looking away, that arm can come across the body, and we'll use that opposite arm to hug it in here, really stretching out the top of the shoulder. softening that shoulder down away from the ear. So notice if this is happening, see if you can soften it down. Breathe. Use that breath here to help you release that tension. And we'll release and we'll go to that other side. So other arm reaches out, thumb towards the sky, right about at shoulder height here. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears, feeling that stretch through the bicep and into the chest. Maybe staying here or maybe turning that head in the opposite direction. Nice stretch for those arms. And then if we're looking away, slowly bringing the head back to center, we'll bring that arm across the body, using the other arm to hug it in. Again, stretching out the top of that shoulder. Nice and gentle with your body. And release from here. Let's just stretch out the wrists. This one's one of my favorites. Just like we're chopping some onions here. A little shake for the hands. Maybe you've got a really big board of onions and you want to go back and forth. Best way to chop onions without crying, right? Just shake it out. Let's roll out those wrists a few times. We'll get into that neck and then we'll get on with our day. And release. Sitting up tall here, feel free to come back into your chair to really feel that support of the chair behind you. Sitting up tall, just allow one ear to drop towards that shoulder. Feeling a nice stretch down the neck, into the shoulder. Option if you'd like to reach that opposite arm away to feel a little deeper stretch. If that feels like too much, just keep those hands at the lap. Inhale and exhale. Slowly bringing the head back through center. Take a moment here, realign that posture, and we'll go to that other side. Again, nice and gentle, nothing to the point of pain. Maybe that opposite arm reaches out, maybe it doesn't. And we'll slowly come back to center. Take a moment here, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Thank yourself for doing something good for your body, for your mind. One last breath. And let it go. Great job. Thanks so much for joining me. I always like to send us off with a quote. Today's quote is from Steve Maraboli, who said, "An inch of movement will bring you closer to your goals than a mile of intention." Thanks so much for joining me and have a great day.